nerds who are going to be sitting around eating pizza and trying to build a robot. It's opened a whole new world for me.
Before I got in, I actually didn't know what to expect.
I had no idea what to expect.
I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
My career, my entire life.
The way they solve problems is unbelievable.
Ready to address big problems.
It helped me to take the initiative and problem solve.
I thought it was just like a small little organization, and it's so much bigger than I ever thought this would be.
So I expected to get some electrical training. I'm prepared to be an engineer.
A whole different perspective of what I want to do with my future.
This is what I want to do. This is so cool.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Give a warm welcome for your Master of Ceremonies, Darren G.
Hey, how we doing? I can't hear you. How we doing? All right, so I was checking things out online. I found out that this crowd isn't very loud. It really did, because what's happening is that there was this city up in the Seattle side, and they set a decibel reading of 131 or 136 decibels. But I think you guys can hack it. You can take this challenge. So on a count of 3, I want to hear what you got in you. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Nope, you only got to 105. You only got to 105. A little bit more. I want to hear it now. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you're so close. Oh, you're so close. Good job. I love to hear that. You guys are awesome. Okay, so with that, I want to kick off the thing and welcome everybody to the Pacific Northwest District Championship that's been sponsored by Autodesk. Thank you very much for coming here and supporting this great program. And one thing I really want to do is I want to thank those online, every one of you that's tuned in online for the last 6 weeks. Because of them tuning in, there's been over 60,000 hits between our 2 events going on for the last 6 weeks. So that's really cool. And the other thing we want to do now is talk about what happened yesterday. There was some great robot action out here. Everybody hopefully understands the rankings they have. And you want to do is you want to move up in the rankings. Top 8 teams will get to select their alliance partner for the elimination tournament that's going to be starting Saturday afternoon. So you as teams, sometimes if it's not broke, don't fix it. Anyways, so moving on for that. So keep that in mind as you go through with that. But the one thing and the folks that we really have a lot of respect for is our first founder and advisor, Woody Flowers and Dean Kamen. And also introducing, for those that don't know, Mr. Don Bosey with their video.
Welcome to the Pacific Northwest First Robotics District Championship. I've been at First for about a year now. I thought there'd be lots of chances to meet creative, energetic young people as they work through the challenges of a First Robotics season. I'd heard First kids were the best of the best, and wow, have you been impressive. Here's what I didn't quite realize: the quality of character and depth of commitment of the First mentoring community. Thank you, mentors, so much. You really are the secret sauce that makes First so special. Congratulations to all of you on another fantastic First Robotics season. Now here's a quick message from Dean and Woody.
Congratulations on building a robot to play aerial assist.
It's simple, right? Just 4 aspects. You acquire a ball, you assist your partners, you advance down the field, and you score.
You've already demonstrated your ability to achieve these tasks while building your robot. You've had to acquire new skills in design, programming, fabrication, and troubleshooting, just to name a few.
No single person built your robot. It's the result of an entire team of mentors, sponsors, and students assisting each other, mastering new skills to advance to the goal of creating your robot. Now there are 2,500 unique solutions to that one problem.
And now you're here to score. You've accomplished your goal. As a community, we celebrate that success.
FIRST is not about today's game, nor about the wonderful build process you just completed. FIRST is about preparing for life.
And life won't be simple. I'll guarantee you there'll be tougher challenges than building a robot in just 6 weeks. You'll need to acquire new skills in technology, communications, and leadership.
Along the way, be ready to assist others and to accept assistance. The problems you face require teams working together. You need to become part of a strong network of collaborators and friends.
Leveraging your skills, experiences, and networks will position you to advance solutions. You'll need to test ideas along the way, document difficulties when things go wrong, and make critical improvements to your innovative solutions.
These steps will position you to score, to find solutions, to have a meaningful and rewarding life, to be part of something much bigger than just self.
FIRST is not about robots. It's not just a game played on a field. FIRST is preparing you for some of life's greatest challenges. But for now, let's celebrate, have some fun, and enjoy Aerial Assist.
All right. And with that, it's a really cool thing is we actually have the Senior Vice President of Manufacturing Division of Autodesk. I'd like to introduce Mr. Buzz Cross.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I want to talk to you about engineering and coolness. I got some slides. Let's put those up. Here's my premise. Engineering is cool. It's not just important. It's not just valuable. It's cool. It's fun. I'm going to prove it to you. Let's start with some myths. Myths about engineering. These are things everybody knows, or at least everybody thinks, and are 100% wrong. Okay, one, everybody thinks engineers work alone. They think we're nerds. We work in cubicles. They're dark. They're dingy. We never talk to anybody. Ain't true at all. Okay, it's a highly collaborative process. Engineers don't make money. I can assure you this is not true at all. Okay, if you want a path to a rewarding financial life, engineering is the way to go on it. Engineers aren't cool. I'll prove this to you 10 times what the things customers do. Last of all, engineers are men. You know, we badly need more women in engineering. It is not an yes. But it's not true, never has been true. Okay, let's go to the next, please. Okay, so I just want to give you a couple examples of things that are being done today. Moon Express is a commercial venture to build and land a lander on the moon. Okay, a bunch of go backwards one. A bunch of FIRST students working on this down the Bay Area. Pretty cool. So this next one is an interesting example. Recent student that's designing go ahead please, a tuberculosis tester. Okay, this is a guy working with a small team in Africa to solve some of the problems in his own little community. Very cool. Okay, here's a system that lets you have lithium batteries without the need for oxygen, toxicity, etc. It'll help us solve problems like finding Flight 370, which disappeared. Last of all, in just pure coolness, I have a little video of just a fun thing designed by engineers. Can you click this? This should be a video that will run. Now, there's no reason for this to exist other than it's just fun. Okay, so that's the little device. This is a little box that will balance itself, jump around, and move it in. It's completely autonomous. Okay, you can see the size of it. It's a small device. It's got a very small number of working parts. It's only about, a few inches on a side. Okay, and it'll show it operate a little bit here. So here's the machine in actual operation. Balances on its toe, and it has sense of what it is, so you can push on it to rebalance itself. Okay, you can do things like lift it up. It's smart enough to know it's got to stay in balance. Just simple gyros and those sorts of things. As I said, it doesn't do anything, but it's just a lot of fun. And this is just an interesting example of what engineers could do every day. I hope you got to do it as well. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Buzz. That is awesome. And it is true, guys. you too can be an engineer. And we'll talk about that later on, about what that funding looks like of 4 years of investment. And again, this is another opportunity. I want everybody to think about this, and gals too. I want to introduce the Oregon State Legislative Representative, who is now the new Speaker Pro Tem for the Oregon House of Representatives, Miss Betty Comp.
I used to be a teacher, so good morning. That's great, but we're going to do something that's a little better than that. Okay, I want to hear all the voices of all the 8th graders. 8th graders. We're proud of you. Freshmen. Sophomores. Oh, and let's hope the juniors haven't dropped out. And this year's graduates here in a couple of months, seniors. Okay, now that was your warm-up. All robotics teams, let's hear you for the state of Oregon and Washington. You are awesome. You can do anything you want in your life, and you know it, and you should know it. This is a proud moment for me. I used to be a teacher, and the only story that I will tell you, when I first started teaching in 1990, yeah, I'm an old lady, that my students that I taught at high school did not know how to read. If you could imagine being in high school and not knowing how to read your textbooks, to read the comments that your teacher might even write on your quiz that was multiple choice, so you could just guess at the bubbles. So you've come a long ways, and I assure you, as a state legislator, I am here to support you. I'm a mother. I have 4 daughters. I have 8 wonderful, wonderful grandchildren. And believe it or not, in the last year, I've become a great-grandmother. And I want my grandchildren to be where you are in another few years. And my youngest grandson, when he was 3, he did teach me how to use my smartphone. So good luck today. Go first. And what I would end with is, for all the women in this room, Oregon is the only state in the nation right now where the 3 top positions in our House of Representatives are all held by women. I can assure you that there's many women in this state that don't have equal pay for the same job that men are doing. I want you to break that barrier as a team of men and women to say, this is what's right for our nation, and go first. Bye.
That's great. That's all right. That is so awesome. And with that, this is somebody that really doesn't need an introduction, but he's so cool anyways, right? So let's welcome to the field the Pacific Northwest District Chairman, Mr. Kevin Ross.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So a lot of people work very hard to put together the whole FIRST program. And we do that for a very important reason, is that we are really focused on making sure that you guys have the tools that you're going to need to succeed in life. It's really important to all of us. It's really important to me especially. I want to take a couple of minutes and talk about some of the aspects that we really want you to learn. Many of you know a little bit about my background, some of you don't. So I have a computer science degree from the University of Washington. I worked for Microsoft. I worked for Microsoft for about 8 years when it was a little tiny company. That has afforded me the opportunity to volunteer doing this for full time. I haven't actually had a real job since 1996. Hey, you know, life's good. I get to do this about 11 months a year. The other month, I actually play professional poker. So in about a month, I'm going to the World Series of Poker. Hey, these two things are related. Here. One of the reasons that I have been successful, both at my Microsoft career and the consulting work I did afterwards, is I developed the ability to deal with incomplete information. And this is something that I really want you guys to kind of think about for a minute. Incomplete information, what does that mean? That means that one of the skills that I have is to be able to develop plans and to analyze information that is incomplete and make educated, well-reasoned assumptions about what is going to happen in the future. And this is a skill that is really important to all of us, to the country, to the world. This is how things sort of work. The leaders in business, leaders in just about everywhere are really good at dealing with known information and information that they don't understand. And it turns out that when I play poker, professional level poker, poker is a game of incomplete information. And so it's sort of interesting that I get to do this 11 months a year, and then I get to be really intense about it playing poker. So we want you to develop some skills on how to deal with incomplete information. So what are those skills? Well, a really big one is being able to quantify things and deal with it mathematically. When I'm sitting at a poker table, for example, I know the odds, I know the probabilities. So the starting hands that I have, that's just math, okay? It's important math. Same thing when I'm in business, when I'm doing business stuff. There's a lot of things that I need to be able to quantify so that I can rationally explain and deal with the probabilities of things happening. So if it was just math, that would be easy. But the reality is also in business, you need to be able to deal with teams of people and to be able to anticipate not only what you can expect from people, but what their reactions to steps that you're going to take are going to be. And again, in poker, a lot of times I don't actually have the best hand while I'm playing, and but you know, through some history and understanding the people that I'm playing with, I can anticipate if I put in a really big bet right here, that person's likely to fold even though I know that they have like a pair of threes or something, okay? So again, it's being able to process incomplete information about things and be able to deduce or have a high probability of knowing what the outcome is going to be. The other big factor is being able to deal with change, because when you're dealing with incomplete information, new things develop and new situations occur that really you need to be able to handle. And being able to handle change actually has as much to do with your personal life experiences as it does all the rest of these things. So my goal for telling you all of that is that if you realize that FIRST is putting you in a world of incomplete information, most of you had no clue how to build a robot, right? But you realize that with a team of people around you being able to work together, you are actually able to achieve something you had no idea how to do in a relatively short amount of time. You also have learned how to work with team members and to work with not only your team but other teams. And you know, the wonders of gracious professionalism have helped you immensely in that, because you sort of know what to expect from the other teams. You know what to expect. You expect them to be gracious and professional. It allows you to predict what it is the reactions to your activities are going to be. So in a lot of ways, FIRST is really a great way of learning how to deal with incomplete information and learning how you'll be able to like leverage that sort of knowledge in the future. Does that make any sense whatsoever? Good. So let me apply this to you guys. You know, I deal with incomplete information all the time dealing with FIRST, and so I'm inferring a lot of things. I'm depending on my life experiences. I've had many first teams over the past 15 years, and I've grown to love every member of every team I've had. And that took a little bit of time. Now that I deal with so many people, it turns out that it's very difficult for me to develop that love based on complete information. So I actually now act on incomplete information. But I do it mathematically. There is a 98% chance, just based on my history, that if I spent enough time with you, I will grow to love you, just like I do all of the other teams that I've worked with, okay? So I'm using my incomplete information to realize that I don't really need to know your name. I don't really need to know a whole lot about you yet in order for me to completely love you and realize that I'm gonna fill in the details later. So that allows me to do this full time and appreciate every one of you, and really, honestly, the entire FIRST community is like that to me. And it's a very rewarding experience because most of you have noticed I'm a fairly friendly guy, oh, thank you so much. But I don't want it to seem cold or calculating, but I have actually calculated the odds. The upsides for me loving you right off the bat are very high. The downside is very small. And in the poker world, that means that you guys are just like aces, and I'm all in with you guys. So thank you so much for being part of my community, and let's have a great day.
We love you, Kevin. That is so cool. And the other thing is, there's another person. In fact, a lot of you may not know this particular person because she spends a lot of time down south, sunning herself somewhere on a lanai or on the beach. And the only pictures you see of her are her toes. I don't know why. But this person's really cool. I've known her for a while. I'd like to introduce the National Chief Judge Advisor, Miss Cindy Stong.
Good morning. Glad to be here. And actually, you guys gave me a beautiful sunny day, so thank you. I'd like to introduce a very special group. You see them down here in the blue shirts and one orange. She has a blue one too. And they're going to be coming and talking to you over the next 2 days, so watch for them. And then also, I'd like you guys to ask them questions as well. There's over 20 plus judges down here. They have amazing backgrounds. Find out where they work and what they do, and they may be something that interests you. So I would like my judges to all stand up and just wave to the crowd out there. Thank you, and have a great judging 2 days.
All right, and with that, there's some folks that you've all been experiencing and got to experience and learn about yesterday. They've been working hard, and the one thing I always say, and I like to bring it up, is that if you ever have a problem and really struggle with these particular people, I urge you to volunteer next year to help us, because this is a tough job. And with that, I want to introduce our referees with the head referee, Miss Roxy Hecker, and her team. And with that, there's 4 other people that are roaming the pits also. And these people are looking to keep a couple things, keep us safe, and also to learn what you as teammates are doing in order to keep a safer environment for our community with FIRST as part of that. And with that, I'd like to introduce our safety advisors, sponsored by Underwriters Laboratory. Thank you, guys. And with that, the one thing we really want to do, and this is what I really urge, I'm just hoping for one day to see this. There's a team 3324, the Metrobots out of Columbus, Ohio, who spent just a little bit of time and came up with a really cool safety animation. And this safety animation is played everywhere in the entire world when there's a first event put on for the FRC robotics competition. And with that, I want to show this video to you now. All right. So yes, you too can create one of those. And the other thing we really want to talk about is there's some folks around here that you've been seeing. They're wearing white shirts. And there's like 100 plus of them or something, 200. I'm not sure what the number is, but it's really big. And these folks put in all their time. And with the paychecks they're getting, never mind, it's free. They're getting paid. So they're called volunteers. And one thing we really want to do at first is they really respect the volunteers and what they've done for this organization and how it keeps it going. And when people say, well, what about the money we turn in each year? That money actually pays for these fields and the lights and the field management system. There's a lot of bucks that goes in just for the basic logistics of this program. And so with that, there's a ton of volunteers out here that do a lot of work. Think of the people in all of your teams that are volunteering their time for you. As I tell people, the reason why I volunteer for FRC, because in Washington, up there in Seattle, between December and March, not much to do. It's raining outside. So volunteer. So if you're not sure why we do it, this is another reason, is that there's nothing else to do and stuff. So with that, FRC just put together a video for the volunteers.
FRC is changing lives and building a better future. Volunteers, we couldn't do it without your talents, passion, and heart. Here at FRC headquarters, we just want to say,
Teşekkürler.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Doje.
Спасибо.
Ta. Thank you.
Iniche, inibara. Domo arigato. Thank you.
Zikomo kwambiri.
Thank you.
Sheshe.
Thank you. Kamsahamnida.
Thank you.
Danka.
thanks, eh?
Grazie. Malachkwa.
Thanks.
Toda. Thank you.
Merci. Obrigado.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, FRC volunteers.
No matter how you say it, we appreciate everything you do. You make the difference. You make us first.
All right. And with that, I want all the students right now to look around, everybody that's around you. I want you to look at the people that are next to you. I want you to look at everybody that's been with you this last season, your parents, your mentors, your coaches, those who cooked you dinner in the middle of the night because you were getting hungry, but you still had to get the robot done because it gets bagged in 2 hours. All right? These are the people that are part of your volunteer base. I want the students to give these guys a big hand and thank them. And with that, while everybody's standing, let's get the rest of the people standing up. Everybody, come on now, you got to stand up. I know, it's early, but stand up. And with that, I need everybody to remove their hats. Thank you. Remove your hats. And with that, we want to welcome to the field. They're an amazing rock group, but they've decided to come in and share with us their vocal talents, the trio from Cedar Park Robotics.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, bursting gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right. And with that, I want all of you to give a warm welcome to the gentleman you've been hearing announce this games, Mr. Brian Andrews.
Good morning, Portland. Let's kick it off with qualification match number 35.
All right, team. So you know what that means. Come out and get your robots ready, and let's do some competition.
Return to the Mac, get up what it is, what it does, what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit. Me get up, first shot, hip strut walking, a little bit of humble, a little bit of cautious, somewhere between like Rocky and Cosby's for the game. Nope, y'all can't copy yet.